welcome to Audrey's Southern Cooking. My name is Nita. If you've never been to my channel before, welcome to my video. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so glad you came. So what we do here is we do different recipes, Southern style, and I try to stay as true to the old traditional ways as possible. There are some times that I'm going to change some things up. So what do we have today? We're going to make Southern Chow Chow. If you don't know what that is, it's just it's going to be cabbage and some green tomatoes with bell peppers, and then we pickle it, and then you eat it with your meal. My dad always ate his with his meal. He loved that. Okay, let's see what we got to have. Okay, so what we have, let me scoot that where you can see, is we're going to need vinegar. Now we're going to need this tomorrow. We're not going to need this today, but we will need to have some spices tomorrow too. But we have to chop all these vegetables. These are onions, green tomatoes. Sorry about that. So green tomatoes, onions, bell peppers. I got a red one in there just for some color. Cabbage and pickling salt. So what we're going to do is chop all these up, put them in a pot, put some salt over the top of them, and they have to sit overnight. Tomorrow we'll rinse it out, and then we will make our chow chow. So today I'm going to show you how to do this part. We'll come back in the morning and finish it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to stop here. I'm going to go ahead and chop these vegetables, and I'll show you what they look like each once they're chopped, and then we'll put them together with the salt. All right, welcome back to the counter. So I got all my vegetables cut. It took quite a while, but I've got my tomatoes, my cabbage that I had. I kind of cut it almost like slaw, almost. Bell pepper, onions, and I've got my canning salt. So let me lower the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got my tomatoes. This is, let me make sure I tell you right, 6 cups of tomatoes, and these are green tomatoes. I've got 8 cups of cabbage. So what I'm going to do is just add this to it. I think this is going to be big enough, but I wanted you to see everything, how it looked. All right, so we got that in there. I've got 3 cups of bell pepper. So I put 2 cups of green and 1 cup of red, just to give it some color. So see, you can see some color. It was all green. And then I have 2 cups of onion. This is gonna be just about the right size for this. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I've already washed my hands, so I'm just gonna kind of dig in here and kind of mix it a little bit, as careful as I can, not to get it everywhere. Just a little bit, and then we're gonna put the salt, and then the pickling salt. This is a canning and pickling salt. So let's go ahead and put that in. This is 3/4 cup, and you're just gonna shake it all over it. I'm just going to save a little bit and stir this just a minute, and I'm going to put the rest. So now what you're going to do with this, once this is done, when I've got it mixed, I'm going to put a lid on it, which I have my lid sitting right over here. Put it in the fridge until in the morning, and that will get this process started. And then I'll be back in the morning. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up and put it in the fridge. And I'll see you in the morning, and we'll get to rinsing this salt off, and then we'll process it to can. All right, I'll see you in the morning. Hi, welcome to my channel. So what are we gonna do today? Today we're gonna do a little something different. This is a little something my mom used to do. And she used to can a lot because we had lots of gardens all over the place. So that's what we do with our summer. Pick vegetables, hoe, plant, shell, oh my gosh, and put up. So what I'm going to do today is a little something to go back to her. My dad used to eat this a lot, and I'm hoping that some of you have eaten this. If you haven't, you've got to try this recipe. But today I'm going to show you how to make, are you ready? Chow Chow. I know, it's not going to be hot. I didn't have any hot peppers, which is fine. My dad loved the little spicy stuff, so but let me show you what we got to have. All right, so I did start this last night. So what I've done, let me go ahead and move this, is I already took my cabbage, my green tomatoes, I have onion and bell pepper. I have some green bell pepper and some red in there. And I put salt on it, and it has to sit overnight. So we're gonna rinse that off, and I'm gonna show you in just a minute. But I have sugar, and I have all my little spices right here. I'm just gonna move it where you can see it because I don't wanna pick it up and mix it. So I have a celery seed, I have dry mustard, I have mustard seed, turmeric, some ground ginger, ground cinnamon, ground cloves, and the crushed red pepper flakes. So I have all that in the recipe below. And we're gonna use vinegar. And that's pretty much it. So let's go over and look at our jars, and I'll show you what we're doing over there. And then I already have them boiling. I'm just gonna get them sanitized and make sure the water's hot. And let's get to rinsing this off. So here's my jars. I have a couple of, 2, maybe 3 pint jars, and then I have half pints in here. And then back here I have my lid, so let me turn them down. They're boiling. They don't need to boil, they just need to get hot. So I'm bringing that down, and I've got this, and I've got some pots here. That's my old raggedy pot. So I've got a pot here, and we're gonna put our ingredients in there. But first, here's my colander and my sink. We're fixing to get our Chow Chow and move it over here to the sink. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, I've already washed my hands. I'm just gonna put some over here. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. Because as I said, I put 3/4 of a cup of canning salt in there. And I don't think this whole thing's gonna fit in here. But I'm just gonna do a little at a time. So what I'm gonna do is just run cold water over it and kind of just stir it around so I can get this salt off. Just make sure all that salt is off of there. And let that drip. And now that I've got that rinsed, we'll just add some more on here. And we'll just keep going until we get it all rinsed. And while that's sitting here draining, after I get this rinsed, we'll come back. I'm going to start getting my ingredients hot so that we can get ready for our vegetables. So let me finish this, and then I'll meet you at the stove. Okay, can you see? So I've got my pot on. Get my sugar. This is 3 cups of sugar. I'm gonna put all my spices in here. And then we have 5 cups of vinegar. So this is actually 4.5. So I'm gonna have to pour half a cup or more. Then we're just gonna stir it and mix it. And then once it gets, I've got it up kind of high. Once it gets to a boil, I'm gonna turn it down, and it's gonna simmer for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna get me a little bit more vinegar. When this comes to a boil, we'll come back. All right, as you can see, it's starting to come to a boil. So what I'm gonna do is turn this down to a simmer, which is about a medium temperature. One thing I did forget to mention, I usually forget to mention something in all my videos. Sweet tea. I had to fix me a glass. because I forgot earlier because I was trying to get everything ready. And it is hot, so I needed some sweet tea. I like to do these videos early in the morning while it's still kind of cool. But it is summer here in Mississippi. And it is humid. And I can't run the air conditioner where I'm at. Well, I can, but what I mean is I can't do it while I'm filming because then it's kind of overpowering on the video. I've already tried that. So this is going to simmer about 10 minutes. I just want to make sure that it's dissolved. Then I've got my, if you look over here in the sink, I have this washed. I drained it, I rinsed it twice. So I rinsed it and I let it, all the water drain out. Rinsed it again. I kind of stirred it around with my hand and let it drain again. So once this is simmered for roughly 10 minutes, maybe I'll go for 5. Then we're going to add those vegetables in this pot. So I'm really hoping that they fit all in this pot. If not, we'll have to drag out my other pot. All right, I'll be back in 10 minutes when this is ready. All right, so I did separate it into 2 pots. Let's go ahead and add the vegetables. Our 10 minutes is up. I'm not sure if I can, gotta try not to drip any water anywhere. Oh, this vinegar in this pot is killing me. I don't know, it might fit, so I may put them all back in this one pot. I think I will. I do believe that will fit. That way it's all the same. All right, so I'm just gonna stir this in. I'm gonna bring it back to a boil and then turn it back down. I'm gonna turn it back up. I hadn't even turned it up yet. And so what needs to happen is we have to simmer it another 10 minutes and then an additional like 5 minutes to make sure that our vegetables are tender. So we'll just be back in about 15 minutes and then we'll be ready to can. And I am excited about that. All right, so our timer went off. Everything looks good. We're gonna move to the counter so I can show you how to go ahead and put these in jars. In the meantime, I'm gonna move these back over here so you can see them. All right, welcome to the counter. So I went ahead, let me adjust my camera here. All right, so I went ahead and I've gotten some jars out of the water and I have them upside down so that they can drain. So I'm gonna go ahead and set those up. I've got a little funnel. You really need a funnel to do any kind of canning or making jellies. You'll need a ladle, and you'll need this little, with a metal piece so it picks up your lids. That helps you get them out of the water. And then I have a jar grabber too. So we're gonna do these fused so I can show you what to do. Once I get all my jars in and back in the bath water, I'll show you what that looks like. And then I'll show you when we take them out. All right, so you are just gonna get a ladle full. Get your ladle full, and then you're just gonna hold your rim here and just put that in. One thing I didn't get, I got a little knife. You can use anything that'll reach down in here because we need to get these air bubbles out once we get this done. All right, put a little bit more. You want to leave it, you want to give it about a quarter of an inch headroom. Sometimes you have to take that funnel out so you can see. All right, so you take your lid that matches, and then you're just going to tighten this down with your fingers, just till it's snug. Don't twist it tight. as usual, I forgot the whole point of the knife is to go in here and make sure there's no air bubbles and get those out. And I've got my lid right back. I'm just gonna screw it down till it's tight, but not like tight. You just want to finger do it and just set it to the side. Got my next jar ready. I'm putting them on this plate because this turmeric in here will stain real easy. So this one's not going to hold near as much. Let's see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. So again, with your knife, go in here, make sure there's no air bubbles. Your lid, the appropriate size of lid. I just didn't have enough size of the pints. That's why I'm using these. And tighten that down till it's snug with your fingers, but not tight. You do your next jar. And this recipe will do about 6 of these. So it ought to do quite a few of these small ones. Again, just kind of go in. Just go down the side, make sure those bubbles are out. The appropriate size of lid, your ring, and just till your fingers snug it. And that's it. So I'm going to do the rest of these jars, and then we'll be back when I put them in the back in the water. All right, we'll be back in a minute. All right, so I have all my jars. So I have 3 of the pints, and I got 3, 4, 5, 6 of the half pints. One thing I did forget to mention was when you, before you put your lid on, always make sure you wipe it off with a clean paper towel, the rim. I forgot to mention that. So I just wanted to make sure I touched base with you on there. And as you can see, the turmeric in here, I don't know if you can see the edge of the pot. That's what I was talking about. That's why I wanted to use a paper plate, as you can see. All right, let's move over and I'll show you. We're gonna take this pinchers. I'll show you how to pick one up real quick. You just grab the rim and pick it up. And we're gonna put it in that boiling water. So let me move my camera and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, here we are back at the counter. I just took them out and I already heard one of them ping. So when you hear that ping or pop, that's just these lids popping down. Oh, did you hear that one? So what it is they have these little, kind of a little dome in the center, and once they pop, it goes flat. And sometimes you don't hear it, and sometimes it doesn't really do it at all, but they do go flat. And that's what it looks like when it's done. And I don't know if you can see, but the lid is flat on that one. Let's see what this one, I think the lid's flat on that one. It actually looked pretty flat on all of them. So here's one. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the little, whoop, there goes another one. You see the little dome? It's just a little sitting there. There you go. Can you see that? It's just a little one, and that'll pop once it seals. So I've already had 3 that I've heard pop. And that's all there is to making Chow Chow. It's time consuming only because the chopping the vegetables took me probably an hour, hour and a half, because I did everything by hand. If you want to grate your cabbage to make it really fine, that'll be fine too. You can do that. Whatever you want to do that makes it easier and quicker for you. Then you just measure out your ingredients. Boil it for 10 minutes, put your cabbage in there, boil it again for 10. I boiled it for 15, simmered it. Then I just put them in there in the jars, sealed them, and boiled them for 10, well actually I boiled them for 12 minutes. So that's really all there is to it. The time consuming part is actually the chopping the vegetables and then the actual boiling and the processing of it. And I took my apron off and I had to clean the counter because as I was putting my camera up, or it's actually my phone, I was putting it up. It fell and I knocked my whole glass of tea all over me. So my clothes are kind of wet here, but my apron was soaked and the floor, so I had to mop the floor while you were away. But it's okay. I got a clean floor now. But those kind of accidents can happen. So just be careful, especially with this boiling water. Be very careful with the boiling water. Don't dip your hand in it, and make sure that when you pour the water out of your jars, that you pour it away from you so it doesn't burn you. And that's my good. I'll put some more safety tips in the bottom just to be sure that you're safe when you're doing this. Just things to stay conscious of is really all you really need to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like my channel, and go ahead and hit that notification bell. I can't taste this because it's still hot and it's got to sit at least 24 hours, and make sure that it all is cooled off and that it's done, finished cooking. Again, if you make this at home, let it sit for 24 hours and then enjoy all you want to, because this is going to be delicious. All right, thank you again. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.